Battle of Pokrovsk, what Russia is planning and risks for Ukrainian forces. Trump knows about danger of freezing war in Ukraine and how US admits possibility of new North Korean troops being deployed to Russia. The latest news next. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky has said that US President-elect Donald Trump is aware of Ukraine's reluctance to surrender and freeze the war. Reported by Zelensky speaking online with the Le Parisien readers about the results of talks with Trump in Paris.
Trump knows about my desire not to rush to the detriment of Ukraine. The country has long been fighting for its sovereignty. No matter how many presidents or prime ministers want to declare an end to the war, we are not going to just give up and surrender our independence.
The danger would be to say we will freeze the war and negotiate with the Russians. Zelensky said Trump is keen to resolve the war quickly, but he does not yet have access to all the information he needs.
He is not yet in the White House and cannot have access to all the information, intelligence, the Ministry of Defense, certain diplomatic channels, and so on. When he is there on the post of the president, we will be able to speak the same language with the same level of information.
About details, according to Zelensky, it is important that the changes in the US after Trump's election favor Ukraine. Zelensky said, "We would like to see stronger support for Ukraine from the United States. Our teams are already working with President Trump's teams. We will build relations with the new administration. This will be our priority. The United States has been and remains our leading donor in this war, although I want to emphasize that both Europe and the United States are important for Ukraine. We do not put anyone above the others." Russian forces are attempting to break through to Pokrovsk, a crucial logistical hub for the Ukrainian armed forces in the Donetsk region. The enemy may begin fighting directly for the city in the near future, which they aim to bypass from the flanks. RBC Ukraine has compiled a report on the situation in Pokrovsk. It is significant and the threats to the Ukrainian armed forces if the city falls. About situation in Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk is located in the western part of the Donetsk region, which is why it is referred to as the western gateway to Donbass. In recent months, occupying forces have managed to get within 6 to 10 kilometers of the settlement. According to Deep State's map, the Russians are now just about 1.5 kilometers away from the southwestern outskirts of the city from the gray zone. Pokrovsk holds significant strategic value as it is an industrial city and provides access to important roads and railway connections. Due to the worsening security situation near Pokrovsk, work at Ukraine's largest coal mine has already been partially suspended. There is no gas supply in the city and free water delivery has also been halted. Due to constant Russian shelling, power outages are reported. Despite this, 11,000 people remain in Pokrovsk. Local authorities are urging evacuation due to the escalating danger. Russia's goals regarding Pokrovsk, Ukrainian defense forces are repelling Russian attacks near Pishane, which is close to Pokrovsk. According to Nazar Voloshin, spokesperson for the Hortitsa Operational and Strategic Group of Troops, there are no Russian saboteurs in Pokrovsk and fighting on the outskirts of the city has ceased. Alexei Hetman, a military expert and reserve major of the Ukrainian armed forces, believes it is very likely that Russian forces want to move from the southeast toward Pokrovsk and avoid street battles. The enemy understands that street fighting could take months and they need to advance quickly.
Therefore, their plan is to encircle the city from the north and south. In other words, they want to create a full or semicircle around it and force our garrison, which is holding the defense, to withdraw from the settlement. This is understood by everyone, especially by our general staff and the units involved in planning military operations there.
Hetman said about this in an interview on the YouTube channel of the RBC Ukraine. Fierce fighting continues in the Pokrovsk direction. Ukrainian forces are striving to hold the line. However, Hetman notes that the superior enemy forces make it difficult for the Ukrainian army to sustain this defense. Risks for the Ukrainian armed forces if the city is captured. Since Pokrovsk is the last major city before the administrative border with the Dnipropetrovsk region, a direct road leads to Pavlograd. Media outlets have increasingly suggested that capturing Pokrovsk could open the way for the enemy to assault the Dnipropetrovsk region. However, Hetman assures that no army can advance indefinitely and every offensive has a specific end goal. After reaching that goal, the forces stop and prepare for the next operation.
This operation, which is happening now, was also prepared. It has been in the works since late last year. And the talk about opening the gates to Dnipropetrovsk, well, remember the Wagner Group and Bakhmut.
He explains that during planning, the military logistics and specific objectives are calculated to determine which front lines to reach. Therefore, the expert argues that assessments suggesting that after Pokrovsk, if Russia manages to capture it, there will be a pause, similar to Bakhmut, are not accurate.
However, that does not mean the war will end, or that they will not plan subsequent operations. This operation is also planned for the Donetsk direction. They are executing it as best they can. Progress is not rapid, but constant. It is not exactly what they planned.
Thus, in the event of Pokrovsk capture, combat operations will continue, but their intensity will decrease, and the Russians will prepare for the next operation. However, there will be a pause, as has happened before, the expert concluded. North Korean soldiers were recently confirmed to be involved in combat operations in the Kursk region. However, Russia will likely avoid addressing this information, according to the Institute for the Study of War. Before reaching the conclusions, analysts reviewed recent developments. On December 16th, U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby confirmed that North Korean forces are participating in fighting and suffering casualties in the Kursk region. According to him, the United States observed the North Korean soldiers being moved from secondary lines in the Kursk area to the front line over the past several days. The same day, Pentagon spokesperson Major General Patrick Ryder stated that North Korean soldiers had been killed or wounded during combat in the Kursk region. However, he did not specify the number of casualties. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also commented on the situation. He reported that Russian forces are attempting to conceal the losses among North Korean troops. Additionally, they are reportedly burning the faces of dead soldiers to hide their presence in Russia. The Ukrainian president further added that Russian troops forbid North Korean soldiers from showing their face during training in Russia. They are also trying to remove any video evidence of North Korean forces operating within Russian territory. Ukrainian military officials and intelligence sources have previously noted that the Russian military attempted to disguise North Korean soldiers as Russian forces from the Republic of Buryatia, the ISW reported. The United States admits the possibility of new North Korean forces being deployed to Russia, yet no more soldiers have been transferred so far, says U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller at a briefing. The journalist asked him whether new units of North Korean soldiers were being transferred to Russia amid the losses. Miller noted that he had no information on new DPRK soldiers arriving in Russia, but that such a possibility was not ruled out. But we continue to assess that's a possibility, but it's not something we have seen as to date, the spokesperson said. He added that the United States had recorded North Korean troops' losses in the Kursk region, both killed and wounded. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe.